Welcome back to Review Remedy, the podcast where we turn healthcare research into practical guidance, helping you make confident decisions with trusted insights from ScoreDoc. Let me ask you a question. When your primary care physician says, "I'd like you to see a urologist," what do you do next? For most people, the answer is simple. Open Google. But then you discover there are dozens of urology practices serving the greater Cleveland area, from Westlake and Fairview Park to Middleburg Heights and beyond. Every clinic seems highly rated, every website lists similar services, and suddenly, what should have been a straightforward decision feels surprisingly complicated. Today's episode is here to simplify that process. We're exploring ScoreDoc's list of the 3 best urology clinics in and around Westlake, Ohio, in 2026. Rather than just reading names from a ranking, we'll help you understand which clinic may fit your needs based on location, convenience, and the type of care you're seeking. Because when it comes to urology, choosing the right clinic isn't only about expertise. It's also about comfort, continuity, and timely access to care. As always, this episode is for educational purposes only and should never replace advice from your healthcare provider.
Before we get into today's list, here's something worth knowing. Many people associate urologists only with kidney stones. In reality, urology covers much more. Urologists evaluate concerns involving the kidneys, bladder, urinary tract, prostate, male reproductive health, urinary incontinence, recurrent urinary tract infections, enlarged prostate, and many other conditions. One mistake people often make is waiting too long. Whether it's frequent nighttime urination, blood in the urine, recurring infections, or persistent discomfort. Getting evaluated early often makes diagnosis and treatment much easier.
Let's begin with Southwest Urology, Middleburg Heights. If you live on the southern side of the Westlake area or regularly travel through Middleburg Heights, this clinic is a convenient option to explore. Patients who need ongoing follow-up visits appreciate practices that are easy to reach because many urological conditions require monitoring over time rather than a single appointment. If you're scheduling your first consultation, consider asking questions like, "What diagnostic tests might I need? Will testing happen during the first visit or later? How quickly can follow-up appointments be scheduled?" Understanding the process up front can reduce uncertainty and help you prepare.
Next is Urology Partners, Fairview. If you live near Fairview Park, Rocky River, Lakewood, or commute along Interstate 90, this location may be especially convenient. Accessibility matters more than many people realize. Whether you're managing kidney stones, prostate health, bladder concerns, or recovering after a procedure, choosing a clinic that's close to home can make repeat visits significantly easier. Another practical tip, before your appointment, make a timeline of your symptoms. When did they begin? How often do they occur? What makes them better or worse? These details often help your physician reach a diagnosis more efficiently.
The third clinic on today's list is Urology Partners Westlake. For residents of Westlake, Bay Village, Avon, and Avon Lake, this location may be one of the most convenient choices. If you're looking to establish long-term specialty care, proximity becomes especially important. Many urological conditions, such as enlarged prostate, overactive bladder, kidney stone prevention, or ongoing urinary symptoms, benefit from regular follow-up rather than one-time treatment. Choosing a clinic you'll feel comfortable visiting over the years is often more valuable than simply choosing the closest available appointment.
So how do you narrow these 3 excellent clinics down? Instead of asking which clinic is number 1, ask yourself these questions instead. Which location is easiest for me to reach? Am I likely to need follow-up appointments? Does my condition require specialized testing? How soon can I be seen if my symptoms worsen? The answers to those questions usually point you toward the clinic that's the best fit, not just the highest ranked one.
Here's another practical suggestion that can make your appointment much more productive. Don't arrive saying only, "Something doesn't feel right." Instead, be prepared to describe when your symptoms started, how frequently they occur, whether there's pain, urgency, or changes in urination, any medications you're currently taking, previous imaging studies or lab work, if you've had them. The more complete the picture, the easier it is for your provider to determine the next steps.
And one final reminder. Some urological symptoms can feel uncomfortable to talk about. That's completely understandable. But remember, these conversations are routine for urologists. The sooner you seek evaluation, the sooner you can get answers, and, if needed, treatment. There's no benefit to waiting simply because a topic feels awkward.
If today's episode helped narrow your search, be sure to visit the complete ScoreDoc guide, where you'll find patient reviews, provider information, and additional details about each of today's featured clinics. We've included the link in the show notes. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Review Remedy. Until next time, take care of your health, don't ignore persistent symptoms, and remember, the best healthcare decisions begin with the right information.